Hey friends, it's Eric Hulkran. On this episode of the podcast, Sarah Titus stops by to talk about the power of the website and how it can answer a ton of your questions as you go through the process of building or buying with Eastbrook Homes. And my guest on this podcast, as I said before, Sarah Titus, is here from Eastbrook Homes to talk about Eastbrook Homes. This is going to get actually very meta, so I want to warn you from the jump off. This is going to get us to be super meta. But Sarah, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So I feel like a broken record on this podcast because the market just doesn't seem to slow down. It actually seems to feel like it's getting faster. And I wanted to start because our neighbor just sold their house 3 days ago and got 12 cash offers over asking, which leaves my wife and I sitting at the coffee table going, whew, that seems like a thing that I don't really want to go into. And I saw a piece of content that you guys put out a couple days ago that was talking about this very thing, that if you don't want to go into the octagon, there's another option. And we're going to talk about all the options today, but let's start with the build option and the website that you guys have, which you have put a tremendous amount of work in. And some background, guys, if you don't know much about Sarah and my history, when I met you guys, that was one of the first things I said is this website does all the things that you think it could do, because as a consumer, I feel like building a house, and I've said this to you in private, so I'll say it to you in public. I feel like building a house, you get stopped right from the jump off because you don't have one question, you have 58,000 questions.
Exactly.
But what we want to talk about today is this thing that you've built on the internet that will help answer at least 57,000 of the 58,000 questions that you have.
Yes, that's the goal.
So can you take me back 5 years? Because why I find this interesting is you sort of tested this whole theory on yourself. So 5 years ago, Sarah, what are you doing?
So I started Eastbrook 6 years ago, and about 6 months in, I thought I should do this. I should just build an Eastbrook home. And I did. I started the process talking to my boss, kind of figuring out how would this work. We were renting at the time. We'd only ever rented. This was my first home. And I decided to, go the building route. I was working in it, seeing it every day. It's really hard to look at photos of homes all day and not want one.
Right. Yes.
So
yes.
I marketed to myself here and convinced myself and my husband that we should build a house. And we found the right community. We found the right home plan. We went through that process, and it made me better at what I do every day. And that is the thing that I think drives me. It's why I have so much passion for it, is I did this and I love our home. We're still in our home. We love it. There's always that thing. You're like, I wish I would have done that differently, but I can, the thing about home is it's yours and you can do whatever you want with it. And with building, you get to get it as close to that as you possibly can at the moment. And, we say all the time, oh, I wish I would have, put built-ins in, but we didn't have money for built-ins in the moment.
Sure.
So we built the house we could afford, but we can grow into the house. And that's what's so beautiful about home, is that you can make it whatever you need. And with building, you can find a way to make it what you need to grow into too.
And one of the first things that people typically start with is location. You hear that cliche, location, yep. But turns out it's still the number one thing that people think about before they build the house. So when we go to eastbrookhomes.com, what does that look like? Walk me through the process of the location finder, and then we'll kind of dig a little bit deeper and mess around there.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about building a home, location really is the most important. And it's interesting right now because we have a lot of people coming to us and saying, the market's so hard, as you said, the offers just roll in. So people are getting to that point where they're like, I don't really care anymore. I just need a house. And so they come and they say, what house can you give me? And we really do need to know a location. Location will be the most important thing. It determines, once you select one of our communities, it determines what home plans you can build there. It determines price. Every community is different. Every community has different amenities. So really going to our website and looking at our communities. If you're looking to build, heading to our community page, we've got a map or we've got the communities, and you can browse through looking at amenities. You can look at starting prices. Or you can look at it from a map perspective. So if you're more of a, Zillow or visual learner, you can see the map version, or scrolling through and kind of looking at a few different options. And that really is the first step. So picking your location. Yeah.
And so once you've picked that location, Sarah, what is typically the next step in that process?
Mhm. The best step would be to reach out to one of our online sales team. If you use any of our contact forms anywhere on the internet that you find us, you'll go to our team right now is Susan and Christine, and they're experts. They are the person that is going to help you through this process, and they're going to answer those other 1,000 questions that we weren't able to answer on the website. So they're really going to be they're the person that answers your phone call, the person that answers your email, and the person that gets you those answers and then eventually sets up an appointment with one of our sales team. So that's kind of the second step. First step would be getting in touch with our online sales team. And if you don't know a location, if you are stuck in that, I don't know, torn between Byron Center and Rockford, we have a lot of that right now. They're both great school districts. They both have great community. We've got many communities in both of those. So to them, it is that it's a budget usually, or it's an amenity that they want. We do have multiple options. So that's something that Susan and Christine can really help you figure out the pros and cons for you, because you've got to find your right place. We have lots of great communities, but if it's not the right one for you, then it's not the right one for you. So we want to find that right one. And then they'll put you in touch with a sales agent. And so then sitting down with one of our sales agents, they're the experts on pricing, experts on what you can do, where, when, how, and what. They're going to do what we call an HPG, where they're really going to go through all your pricing. So if you have that question where you just want to know what this is going to cost, that starting price on our website is us trying to be as transparent as possible. That
Sure.
includes your home plan, the base, what we call base price, and lot price. So if you want to build just a base home, you could get in at that price. You're also going to have those other things that you want to put in your home, like us with our built-in shelves or a fireplace, or maybe you want granite, or, the inevitable things that we don't do after you move in, the furniture. It's an evolving process. And so your home journey is really going to look different, but it gives you a starting price, a place to start. And if that number is scary, like it was for me, that other step that you should kind of do at the same time you're thinking about location is finding a lending partner, talking to someone who's in the mortgage field and really asking what that number is. I mean, we went with it. We knew how much we paid in rent, and $300,000 was not a number I knew what to do with. And I knew $1,400 a month. Can I have that? What is
Right.
that? What's the house for that?
What does that look like? Yeah.
What does that look like? And so that's really where we were. We worked with LMCU, which is one of our lending partners. And Becky over there, she really walked us through all of that. If you are at this level, it's going to be this much a month. If you're at this level, it'll be this much. And then here's what down payment will look like. And here's the timeline for that. So you're kind of doing a lot of things all at once. And so I think it can sound scary, but use the tools at your disposal is what I would say. And what we're trying to help make that easy. On our financing page, we have a calculator that you can do both of those things. You can look at it from a monthly payment or from a total overall price. So if you're looking at a house that's $350 and you want to know what that's going to be, you add that information in and it'll tell you your monthly payment. If you know, like me, I just want $1,400 a month, it'll then spit that out in a different format. We really build these tools for you to explore at your leisure, at your journey, and everyone's journey is really different.
And one of the other things that's powerful about what you've built on the Eastbrook Homes website is this blog that you guys are continually pouring content into. And it's not just content about building a home, it's about trends in color and trends in, when Marie Kondo was red hot, you guys were talking about minimalism and all of those sorts of things. Can you talk about maybe the process of how you guys go about, you and Marissa, creating that publishing acumen and what goes into that blog?
Yeah. So yes, it's myself and Marissa on the marketing team, and Marissa's our content queen. So anything you're reading or seeing, she likely has polished for us in one way, shape, or form. And the blog we do weekly. So it was one of those things, 5 or 6 years ago, when you look at a blog, we've all been to those websites where there's a blog and it hasn't been updated in 3 years, 2 years.
Yes.
We didn't want one of those. And you hear from higher ups or other people in the company, we should have a blog. And it was that conversation of, okay, but we have to commit to it. And I know there's enough content out there, but we have to commit to telling a unique story every week. some way, shape, or form, we have got to buckle down and make a great story that is going to be relevant to someone. And Marissa's done a great job of that. We work with a vendor partner to help us with that, but really coming up with a unique story every week is where she shines. I mean, she'll bring things to us as a topic idea, and it's like, yeah, that's exactly it. So some of it's like you're browsing Zillow and you see an article, and then she'll spin it out from there. We really want to be that hub of education, whether you're looking to build a Eastbrook today, a year from now, 10 years from now, or you're looking for your mother or your sister or your friend. We want to have that information wherever you are in your stage. And there is a blog on there for everyone. And then we get into the fun stuff, like showing off our homeowners, our homeowner highlights, showing off what they did with their houses. We've got lots of home plans, and they're all unique depending on what you want to see in your home. And that's where I think the inspiration really starts, is seeing what other people have done to help you figure out what it is you want to see. Because it's a big canvas, to put it in an art term. It's a large 3D canvas.
Sure, for sure. Now, the other thing I want to make sure that we talk about is you guys do have ready to move in homes as well. So if people are not quite ready to do the build thing but want to work with you guys, can you talk about that part of the business as well and how you use the website to do that?
Yeah. So we've got move-in homes on our website. Right now, just like everyone is experiencing, there's not a lot left. If you see a house today, you should get it. If you want it, if you can afford it, if it's something you like, it might not be there tomorrow. I mean, that's the true honest truth about the real estate market right now. So a lot of our move-in homes currently are proposed builds. So we're trying to help people understand what this will cost, the kinds of finishes that it could be, the kind of home plan that would be. And then you'll see a lot of those things on like Zillow or New Home Source, or some of those online other some of those online syndication sites that showcase it. Maybe it's our Aspen plan or it's our Willow plan, and it's going to show a bunch of photos that are representational, but to give you an idea of what this could be at a starting price. So that, again, depending on what you look through, you might look at it and say, well, I love that granite, but I don't like white cabinets. I didn't do white cabinets. I wanted dark stained cabinets. But I can get an idea looking at what other people have done of what I like. And so figuring out what you want to see in your home, Pinterest, we've got lots of photos on our feature gallery, HGTV, I guess, looking wherever you can at everything, and then looking at where you're currently living and determining what, having an honest conversation. What do I like? What don't I like? And what do I wish I could have? If everything went perfectly, what would I do? And that's going to help your sales agent determine how to get the best home for you, your designer, the online sales team. Everyone really needs to know that where you're starting from, that price point you're comfortable with, that price point. If you flexed, we had 3 price points that we came in with.
Yes.
If I get what I want, it'll be here. If we skimp, it'll be here. And then somewhere in between is, of course, where we ended up landing. But you've got those multiple conversations that you should have with your partner or with yourself, people you trust, parents, friends, colleagues, and really getting outside advice, I think, is really helpful in that. But then also you have to, at some point, stop and figure out what you want in your home. So lots of outside advice, lots of articles, lots of reading. And, our blog does help you with that. Lots of different points of view and prospects and process to figure out what it is, or maybe just spark a question. So you might have come to our website with 58,000 questions. You might leave with 62 more, but you hopefully have answers to the other ones. So we can help answer those 62 questions that you now have, because hopefully we've answered the other ones. And that would really be the, reaching out and asking, whether it's phone, email, social platforms, however it is, we want to answer those questions. Even if today's not the right thing, or we don't have them perfect move-in home for you today, we can build it. And that's, I think, the important thing about the building process is if it doesn't exist, if you can't find what you want, you can have it. And that's the conversation you got to start, is it's kind of like, manifesting what you want to see your life to be. Maybe this house exists in 5 years for you. So we have people that reach out and say, in 10 years, I want to be here, or in 5 years, I want to be here, staying on our list, getting our emails each week. And then they come back maybe 4 years. Sometimes we get them in a little earlier, but you hit that point and you know what you want, and you're going to feel so much better when you know you've done all that research, because it's a big investment. It's a very big investment. And we know that and want to make sure that you feel confident in that decision as well.
Absolutely. Sarah Titus, Eastbrook Homes, thank you so much for joining us. As a reminder, if people want to get to the website, how do they do that?
Eastbrookhomes.com.
Have a great day.